The Vikings survived brutal winters without burning fuel the way we do today, and the secret was hidden in the ground beneath their feet. That's not hype, it's archaeology. In places where winter lasted most of the year, where forests were scarce and storms were unforgiving, Viking communities built homes that stayed warm using almost no firewood at all. No chimneys, no stoves running day and night, just smart design, natural physics, and hard-earned experience with the cold. And once you understand how it worked, you'll realize this wasn't primitive living. This was engineering. Turf roofs did more than just keep rain out. Viking roofs were heavy, layered, and alive. Instead of thin wooden shingles, many homes were topped with turf roofs made from grass-covered sod stacked over wooden beams. These roofs were dense, moisture-resistant, and incredibly insulating. Now, snow piled on top during winter, which most people would see as a problem. Vikings saw it as an advantage. Snow is actually a natural insulator. Once settled, it trapped heat inside the home while blocking icy winds from stripping warmth away. Inside the longhouse, heat moved slowly upward and stayed trapped beneath that thick living roof. The house didn't fight winter, it used it. Now this part surprises a lot of people. Viking homes often shared space with livestock, not as pets, as heaters. Animals like sheep, goats, and cattle were kept in attached sections of the longhouse, or separated by simple partitions. Their body heat added constant warmth to the structure, day and night, without burning a single log. This wasn't unsanitary chaos. It was controlled, intentional design. The animals benefited from shelter. The people benefited from warmth. Waste heat that would otherwise vanish into the night stayed inside the building. In extreme climates, ignoring that resource would have been, foolish. Vikings didn't ignore it. Fire was used sparingly and strategically. Yes, Viking homes did have hearths, but they weren't roaring fireplaces burning endlessly. Fires were small, central, and used with restraint. Often placed in the middle of the longhouse, the hearth radiated heat evenly. Smoke exited through roof openings or, just dispersed slowly, which sounds uncomfortable by modern standards, but helped reduce heat loss. More importantly, fires were not the primary heating source. They were supplemental. Cooking, light, and short bursts of warmth. Nothing more. The house itself did the heavy lifting. Airflow was carefully controlled. A warm house can still be deadly if airflow is wrong. Viking builders understood ventilation intuitively. Openings were small. Doors were narrow and often shielded by entry passages that acted like airlocks, preventing cold gusts from rushing inside. Fresh air entered slowly. Warm air escaped reluctantly. This balance kept interiors breathable without turning the house into a wind tunnel. Again, not comfort-focused design. Survival-focused design. Heat from daily life was never wasted. Here's an overlooked detail that matters. Viking households were active spaces. Cooking, tool-making, weaving, repairing gear. These activities produced heat. Instead of isolating tasks into separate buildings, Vikings concentrated them inside the longhouse during winter. Human activity became part of the heating system. Even sleeping arrangements mattered. People slept close together, often on raised platforms lined with insulating materials like animal skins. Shared body heat accumulated, stayed contained, and carried through the night. Every calorie burned by a person became warmth for the group. Why this technique was lost. So if Viking homes were so efficient, why don't we build like this anymore? Because fuel became cheap. As forests expanded through managed growth, coal mining increased, and later oil and gas entered the picture, architecture shifted. Buildings grew taller, thinner, and less connected to the land. Heating systems replaced intelligent design. The old methods weren't forgotten because they failed. They were abandoned because convenience won. But today, as energy costs rise and sustainable design returns to the spotlight, architects are quietly rediscovering principles Vikings mastered 1,000 years ago. Earth-sheltered homes, passive heating, thermal mass, insulation over output. None of it is new. The real lesson Vikings left behind. This isn't about copying Viking houses plank for plank. The lesson is deeper. Vikings didn't ask, how do we make more heat? They asked, how do we stop losing it? That single question shaped buildings that could survive one of the harshest climates on Earth with minimal resources. No technology, no excess, just understanding. And that mindset still matters today. Whether you're interested in survival, resilience, or simply smarter living. Because when systems fail, fuel runs out, or conditions turn hostile, clever design outlasts brute force every time. If you want more forgotten survival wisdom like this, real techniques, grounded in history, that actually worked, make sure you subscribe to Legacy of Survival. Like the video, share it with someone who appreciates ancient ingenuity. And stay curious, because the past still has a lot to teach us if we're willing to listen.